Hello and welcome to this segment of Roundtable Radio. This is podcast number 4, week 4, the fourth Friday. Today we are going to be discussing the U.S. Open, not tennis, but golf. I've personally found myself very interested in golf, and especially since I play it. Obviously, I don't play it as a main sport, but I play it as a sport that I enjoy for fun. I decided this would be a fun topic to discuss. So for those of you that do not know, golf is the way it works is you play 18 holes and you play 4 rounds. You play a total of, I believe, oh gosh, I don't know. I mean, you played 18 times 4. I'm really bad at math. Whatever. You play that many holes. So 72. I should have known that. It's 72 holes. You play 18 Thursday, 18 Friday, 18 Saturday, 18 Sunday, and the lowest scores out of those 4 rounds win. And if you win the U.S. Open, you are considered a national champion. Just like in college football with the college football championship and baseball and basketball and every collegiate sport. But this is the golf national championship. And the beautiful thing about the U.S. Open is anyone under a 2 handicap, which if you don't know what that means, anyone who handicap is a number that you get based on how good you are, I guess you could say, and the lower it is, the better, and you can even get your handicap into the negative. So you go, if your handicap is below 2, you go to a regional qualifier or a regional qualifier, then a state qualifier, and all the way up. And then if you get a chance, you eventually get to the U.S. Open, but unfortunately you're an amateur, so you can't win any money. But they give the average player a shot. Like, here's your shot, get to the U.S. Open. Don't miss it. And also college players who are also considered amateurs are also able to qualify, which is something that's also really good because, I mean, amateurs never win, but it's not very rare to see some of them on the leaderboard and some of them playing really well. It always makes it more fun to watch because they're in it for themselves, not for the money. They're in it to compete for themselves, make a case for themselves on why they should be in the PGA or on the PGA Tour. So after I didn't really have a chance to watch it much on day one, which is yesterday, because obviously I was at school all day and the play was going on while I was at school. But the leader after day one was Justin Thomas, who is top 3 player in the world. I believe he's number 2, and he almost won the FedEx Cup last year, which is the FedEx Cup is. Each player gets a certain amount of points for a birdie or a win or negative points for a bogey or stuff like that. And it's a consumption of points, and then by the end of the season, whoever has the most points ends up winning the FedEx Cup, which is a very big deal because first of all, you win the last tournament of the year, and second of all, you get paid a lot of money, in an easy $15 million, if not more. Which is obviously very, 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 very nice. So from what I saw yesterday, there were no amateurs on the leaderboard, and the lowest amateur currently is 7 over from Japan. It's not very often that you see an amateur from Japan, and he actually missed the cut. And if you didn't know that, missing the cut after 2 rounds, they cut the field in half for the Saturday and Sunday rounds. So he wasn't able to make the cut, and he's actually going to win the lowest amateur, which is also something that the amateurs are all qualifying for. They're all qualifying to beat each other instead of just, if you're not going to win the whole thing, just beat the other amateurs. That's what they do. So his name is Takumi Kanaya. Takumi Kanaya, from Japan. So he's an amateur. He didn't even make the cut. From what I can see, there wasn't anybody else that was an amateur who made the cut. The leader after 2 rounds is 4 under par, which in a golf tournament, I mean, that's pretty crazy. Normally after 2 rounds, it can get up to 10 or 13 under, 10, 11, 12, or 13 under. It kind of just depends, but this year is the 120th U.S. Open, and it's being played at Winged Foot Golf Club in Mamaroneck, New York. So from what I've heard, at least, and from what I've seen, my dad has played Winged Foot, and he told me it's the hardest golf course he's ever played. So I'm going to take his word for it and agree with him here that it's the hardest course that he's ever played. I'm sure one of the hardest courses that'll be played on the PGA Tour, probably especially this year. It just shows the scoring is real low, or the scoring is actually real high. The winds are real high. You're seeing bogeys, double bogeys. You're seeing a lot of players start to do things that you haven't seen them do in a while, which can be very interesting and very very shocking. But the leader after round 2, it's not Justin Thomas. He actually sank a little bit today. He shot 3 over 73 after going out in the first round 65, which was a flawless round. The leader for today is Patrick Reed at 4 under. He shot an even 70 par, 70, which is par. And then yesterday he shot a 66, which is a 4 under par. So he has a 1-shot lead over Bryson DeChambeau, who's in second place at 3 under, who went 69 on Thursday and 68 on Friday. If you didn't know, Patrick Reed won the Masters actually in 2016, which is also probably one of, if not the biggest golf tournament in the nation. Obviously, it's very known, but this year it's actually being played in November because of COVID. Obviously, some stuff happened and they had to move the season around, so that's just what they decided to do, and they decided the best time for the Masters was in November. But anyway, so we have Patrick Reed leading, who's from Houston, and after he won the Masters, he was being recognized all around Houston for his win, and he got the first pitch out of the Astros game, and it's very good to see someone local doing well and obviously having some fun out there. So so we discussed the leaderboard. So I'm gonna go ahead and give y'all my predictions for who I think is gonna win after day 2. I know I could have done it after day 1, but it's day 2 and some scores are already out and some golf has been played. So my first prediction for a sleeper to come up off the board, his name is Xander Schauffele. Kind of a tongue twister there, but I believe is from California, and he can hit the ball a long way, but he's very accurate and has a very good touch to his short game. He went out in a 2 under 68 on Thursday and a 2 over 72 on Friday, so he's currently even par, 4 shots back from the lead. But when he's on the course, you never really know what could happen. I mean, he could go out and birdie 5 holes in a row, and next thing you know, he's right there on the leaderboard. He's someone that a lot of these players need to watch out for and be careful, because they need to stay in front of him, because once he turns on the jets, good luck. That's what I have to say. Good luck, because wow, is he a special player. So I believe that he's going to be up there on the leaderboard. Another player I believe will be up there and probably stay up there is Justin Thomas, who is leading after day 1. Shot a 3 over today, so he's 2 shots back from the lead at 2 under. I believe he'll be up there. I don't think he'll win, but the player I think who will win this week is Harris English. He has played some really good golf lately. Hasn't been enough to win many tournaments. He's always in the mix, though. I feel like this course suits him very well. He shot a 65 on day 1 to tie for the lead. I'm sorry. He shot a 68 to be 3 shots back from the lead, and a 70 today. So he's 2 under, 2 back from the lead. But in golf, anything could happen after the last 2 rounds. You never really know. So I believe that if I had to choose, I'm going to say he's my winner. So Mr. Fram will remember that. Remember that on next week. If I come in and I tell you Harris English won, you will know that I predicted it. All right. Anyway, some news about the U.S. Open. So today, obviously, half the field was cut. One of those included Tiger Woods, and Tiger has been struggling with his game lately. Not many reps, not many tournaments. Didn't make the top 30 in last season. He hasn't been playing that well, and he missed the cut and finished at 10 over par, which was very, very disappointing, especially for him being one of the greatest players. The greatest player of all time, in my opinion, at least. I don't know what's going on with him this season, but he needs to figure it out, especially for the Masters in November, where he plays really well. And I feel like if he gets it all figured out before the Masters, there's no telling what he could do come November. Second of all, so So we've discussed the FedEx Cup, but winning a major championship can be huge for points in the FedEx Cup and can be huge for you to establish a lead in the FedEx Cup, which eventually leads you on to winning the season and getting a lot of moolah. So obviously the U.S. Open is very, very important for those players trying to gain some points in the FedEx Cup. So some interesting news actually is a player named Bubba Watson. He lives in Pensacola. And Pensacola obviously was just hit by the hurricane. I think Hurricane Sally is what it was. And luckily his family was okay, but he admitted today in his press conference that all of his winnings of the tournament, all of his winnings will go to the city of Pensacola, schools, churches, etc. He really wants to help provide for the community, and he wants to help Pensacola, his hometown especially, which I really enjoy him doing that, or I'm really glad that he's doing that, putting his foot forward and doing what's right. So good for him, and hopefully he ends up pulling through this week. Maybe he will. We'll see. Anyway, thank you for listening to our podcast. This is podcast number 4 on Roundtable Radio discussing the U.S. Open. Thank you.